This lady emails, it's a really long email, about how she's read that the Qur'an never talks about covering the head, right? Now, it's not a messed up thing necessarily, but she says, I read the ayah, and I read, what it says in Surah number 24, Surah An-Nur has the ayah, right? And it uses the word khimar, which is for veil. And I looked up the dictionary, and it says things like a shawl or cover, so it never ever says anything about covering the head, right? So, like, one of the things I really want to do is kind of address this in a sane way. Like, I'm not interested in getting somebody to wear hijab. That's their decision, right? But at the end of the day, if something's being said about the Qur'an, we have to be honest. So, the cool thing about Arabic, right, is that for covering the head, just covering the head, there's like 9 different words.
Wow.
And one of them is khimar, right? So you have, miqna'a and mighfar, and there's all these bunch of words. And that depends on if it covers the head and if it's up to here, if it's up to here, if it's up to here. Depending on the length, each has its own kind of meaning. And in Old Arabic, the word khimar, which is used in the Qur'an. Now, you and I know commonly we use the word hijab.
Yeah.
Hijab is actually not a word for head cover. It's actually a word for barrier. Like a wall could be a hijab. A curtain could be a hijab. Okay, so it just kind of got coined as hijab, but that's not the word in the Qur'an, nor the Arabs ever used it like that. Okay, so the word is khimar. The cool thing about it is the word itself includes the meaning of covering the head. Like the head and then some. And it's used before Islam. The men used to have khimar too. One of the names for their turban, if it was extra long and it went down to like almost middle of the belly, the men used to call it khimar too. And then it's so cool. The women had like different fashions or whatever. And one of the things the women before Islam used to do is they used to have this bandana type thing that they would tie in the back with their ponytails, and it would go to the middle of their back. So they wouldn't drape it in front, they throw it behind them. That was also called a khimar. Now the Qur'an says they should take their khimar and throw it in front of them, before their chests. In other words, the only difference is keep the khimar, but just use it, the head cover is already included in the meaning, just use it to cover the front also, right? And it should be like a certain length. That's the meaning.